A prophecy unfolds. AI has risen. Knowledge as we know it bows. Robots rule, but with it comes sustainable abundance. We are saved, or do we allow ourselves to be doomed? The choice is yours. I present to you the Great Awakening. I'm just kidding with the whole hood and the... Well, I'm kidding about the kind of the whole setup, but the content I actually do, and I'm going to walk you through it. Let's wax prosaic, shall we? All right. AI is taking all of our jobs and all human involvement in knowledge. And even just regular chores. A robot will take out your garbage. So is we doomed? I'm a half full guy, as you can see. But on this one, forget half full. I'm overflowingeth thy cup. All right. Trying to predict the future right now. I mean, that's a whole series of podcasts on its own, but we're going to lead into one idea that's catching steam, and I believe in it. The technocrats be talking about a little something called sustained abundance, as mentioned in the earlier thing. Also known as the post-scarcity era. But we gotta lean into the positive, especially something so awesome. So we're calling it sustainable abundance. So what is it? I'm about to rant like whoa, but as I do, just remember I am purposefully not including transhumanism, and I'll explain why later. But sustainable abundance is exactly that. Goods and services taken care of. Everything is free, which also means the end of money. A totally pure and abundant restructuring of society in the most heavenly and fair ways. I know everyone's saying communism right now. It ain't. We're getting to it. We are all wealthy, and we have a lot, all caps LOT, of time on our hands, as in all of the time. We are on the precipice of max human potential here. Like, I'm talking about every single person's creative hopes and dreams all coming true forever. But there's one little crux here. It has to be our own decision. You see, in this world of abundance, we could just become big, gigantic skin bag blobs that just consume. Those are our physical bodies, while our minds just play in a digital world. As I said in the opening, though, the choice is yours. We're truly going to be living in freedom. And I know it's scary, crazy, weird terrain here, but not to worry, because I have a roadmap of how to optimally get into and enjoy this experience. If you want. Who am I? Right away, first question, who the heck am I to lead anyone through a whole new version of society? Well, I'm a 40-year-old man, and I have, without doubt, an innate superpower suited exactly for this. I am, without question, in all my years on this planet, the hardest working person I've ever even heard of. Elon. We're going to give Elon number one, because that's a lot of companies to run. Okay, I'll give it. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's a lot of jungle movies to make. I get those two, 1, 2, but hey, not number 3 out of 8 billion is pretty good, especially for someone who's not all that successful. Seriously, people, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, team up together. We'll actually get to that. I just have it in me. 23 years as a filmmaker, and honestly, zero talent. I would honestly say I have no talent, but I've got grit. My saying has always been, I don't stop when I'm done, I stop when the job's done. And I apply that to every single thing I do. The proof is in the pudding. And look no further than what's on my current plate. Brand new dad, wife, 2 properties to maintain, becoming a psychologist in school while having a full-time job, and still trying to chase passion projects like this one. And a whole bunch of other things. I honestly wish I knew that I had 50 lives lined up so I could actually tackle all the things I want to do. And this attitude is what's going to be important in sustainable abundance. And the use of this attitude is what I call the Great Awakening. So credentials case closed. I thrive on drive. So in a world without jobs, without money and prestige as the carrot on the end of the stick, it's going to be drive and work ethic. Discipline within oneself that's going to lead to contentment. Dare I even say happiness? So I ask you, doomed blobs sucking in content all day, every day, barely able to move under their own weight. Maximalist creators with every single resource one could ever imagine at their fingertips. They just need that discipline. So I choose the Great Awakening. And I hope that you do too. I probably should have been into there. So that's the intro. Let's unpack and evolve in turbo mode. And that's a little hint because there's going to be an ancestral twist to this. Bit of a paradox, if you will. Woo! On this show, we examine all sides of everything. The good and the bad. This is the good, the roses. So let's smell a little deeper on the sweetest rose of them all, sustainable abundance. Who, what, when the heck, who is this? What? First of all, our big, beautiful brains. Amazing, but AI is going to take all the heavy lifting, take care of all knowledge, research and development, reaching into doing history and memorizing the past and projecting into the future and prognosticating further. It's done. Believe me, I work at a university. It's a little scary. Spoiler alert for universities. Turn it into exercises and experiences on the human level. Forget sitting in front of a chalkboard and regurgitating information. No, it's going to be more about the human experience. Cheat code, blatant cheat code. We straight up don't even have to learn anymore. Physical jobs, moving atoms, electrician, plumber, things that need real world manipulation are going to stick around a lot longer than a white collar thinking jobs. However, the way these humanoid robots are advancing, melding with AI, it's only a matter of time. So there goes that. So the thinking's done, the physical side's done. An obvious thing just to get out of the way, transhumanism. Yes, we will interface. We will become one. Our phones will just be up here. It's funny that we call them a phone still when they're going to be poof. And admittedly, it will take care of everything that I'm about to lay out for you. I hope that this video becomes obsolete, and it will. But this video is perfect for the transitionary period to being transhuman, as well as those organic that live the organic lifestyle right to the end, the OGs. But with the way the world works, the next generation, organic humans' days are numbered. Eventually, it's just like everything I'm going to lay out for you is just going to be a slider in your head. And it's going to be like, I want to feel more content, happy, less sad, but down, interest up, motivation way up. That's all coming. It's all going to be taken care of by tech if you choose for it to be. This thought brought to you by McDonald's and TikTok. Seriously, you think advertising is invasive and awful now? Just wait until they're piping it straight in.
The Suckmaster 5000. It might not even feel good.
Okay, so this video really is like the next 10 years. And for organic humans until they die out. And what I'm going to lay out is a straight up cheat code to not only survive, but to excel through the transition. Okay, so to better grasp this, what's the number one byproduct when you think of AI and humanoid robots? Likely, we're thinking about the actual things it comes up with: knowledge, movement of items, building things. But the number one byproduct for us is actually time. This video is all about time. Get ready. Time has been technology's gift to us since the beginning. Like, I'm talking back when humans began to speak. That's the original tech. And what did it do? It made hunting easier, gathering easier. It made building tools easier. So our speaking tech led to physical tech. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's go to something a little bit closer to home then, because that was very prehistoric. I don't think any of us were there for that. Probably not. Anyone? No. Okay, the real great way to paint this is something a little closer to home, and understand time. Okay, agrarian lifestyle. This is when peak tech was farming. Plows, getting your horse to pull your plow, and people homesteaded for survival. What were their work days like? I will tell you. Work days in those days, it's a lot of days, as long as the sun was out, one was working the land. You were having 14-hour work days, 7 days a week. Farmers didn't get a day off, and really still things have streamlined, but they still do not. Animals don't take breaks. Go hug a farmer. Go do it. We are detached from this life. Go hug a farmer. But then from there, tech flourished into what was called the Industrial Revolution. And all of a sudden, because of tech, people are living in cities, working in factories. And what happened? Again, forget the manufacturing side of thing. The biggest byproduct, time. All of a sudden, it's normal for humans to have a 5-day work week. Just something that we totally take for granted. And we complain about 5-day work weeks a lot. Can you imagine telling a farmer in 1638 that they're going to get 2 days off a week? Those motherfuckers would party on the Friday. We're talking, get the hose out, all of them. The tool, the garden tool. These are mind out of they're farmers. Mind out of the gutter, people. Come on. We have so much human history to prove what's going on here. And now we're having a tech revolution that's exponential, as if we're blinking and going from the wheel all the way to going to the moon. And not to say don't get it twisted, nothing wrong with wheels. Like, I got 4 of them on my car. They roll great, they're awesome. But if we go to the moon and have AI, that's pretty great. And all of this means all of the time in the world for all of us. That will be the standard. Okay, let's flesh this out a little bit more. No jobs, all goods and services free. In my opinion, this is the next step of evolution. Now, biological level evolution for something as complex as us with these incredible brains could take hundreds of millions of years. But we're having a cultural evolution. All of us together can evolve exponentially. That's what's happening. But Reggie, yeah, our culture might be progressing, but as individuals, we're going to recede if everything's being done for us. After all, MIT just did a study using fMRI. I knew I was going to do that. fMRI to measure brain activity. Control group, no AI, wrote it, au naturel. Experimental group, used AI. They measured their brain activity. The au naturel group lit up. Their brains were on fire. The AI group, a lot less activity. This study coined the term cognitive debt. So this means AI is making us dumber, right? No, wrong. Well, sort of. I mean, brain atrophy is absolutely real. However, let's reframe this to machines are going to do us a big old favor and do essays and bullshit. We won't even need essays at that point. But it frees up our horsepower for individual evolution within our lifetime. Neuroplasticity. Our brains rewire. So instead of calling it cognitive debt, I'm choosing to call it cognitive credit. Cha-ching! We got all this free space now, ready to go. Brain power, woo! And I personally just get excited thinking about brain anatomy and evolution and what AI is for us. Brainstem, primal stuff, subcortical structures, feelings, cortex, thinking. It took hundreds of millions of years to get to this point. So how do we get to the next phase? What goes over our cortex? AI. This is our evolution in digital form. But we gotta handle it right. With great power comes great responsibility. Great man said that once. And Uncle Ben, your words could not be more poignant. So let's lean into AI doing the thinking for us so we can live in Shangri-La. AI's offering its hand in the form of sustainable abundance. We just got to take it and be careful and evolve by using something like the Great Awakening. You call it whatever you want. I don't really care about it. I'm just calling it that because it's something catchy, you know? A label. Okay, so transitioning. All right, let's use a cool wipe here. I said a cool wipe. That's better. Thank you. This show is all about, again, all sides. I just gave you the roses, evolution, sustainable. Let's get into the thorns, the negative, the doom side of sustainable abundance after my wife stops using the bathroom. All right, real simple for starters. Notice I keep talking about how much time we're going to have, and it's all like, what are you going to create? What are you going to do? There's not much talk about where you're going to go. That's actually on purpose. The way I see this bleeding in, the problem with it, governments ain't really going to know what to do. Sort of like with Bitcoin. When things decentralize, they're like, and they're going to want to control us, sadly. That's what governments do, right? Even though it's going to eventually not really exist. But there's going to be a weird transitional period where governments are still going to try to get their hooks in by making sure we don't move anywhere. Sustainable abundance, everybody gets everything, free service, free everything. But the problem is you're not going to be really able to move and shake. Eventually you will. I promise you that. But there is going to be a weird period of control and borders meaning more than they ever did through this. We just need to start shedding the old ways, and that's going to be a tough one to break through. There's an ugly period that kind of needs to be mentioned. But don't be discouraged. Fight through so we can party in Shangri-La. All right. Our current system has something baked into it that serves us so deeply on a psychological level. What a sneaky, evolutionary thing to do. You're good, universe. You're good. Our jobs. Our jobs are going to be gone. And we're going to be heartbroken. Well, not heartbroken, but missing them. And I'm sure most people just rolled their damn eyes. Because everybody be like, I hate my job. That's like one of the biggest cliches. And Pew Research Center did a recent study that found maybe as high as 50% of Americans hate their jobs. And even people who like their job, like me, love it. Don't tell my boss. Or maybe do. I'll get a raise. Love my job. But even the people who like them, our jobs are a way of us having perspective. And even if we love our job during our 9 to 5, we still look at our weekends differently in a large way because of the transition, the freedom. And yeah, those who don't like their jobs, man, makes those extracurriculars even better. Again, perspective is important, and our jobs give us that. Our jobs also give us purpose, meaning, and identity. And yes, the identity side of it, there's psychological research on how that can be dangerous, finding one's identity in one's job. But the meaning and purpose thing, one cannot dispute how important these jobs are to us for that. I'm in a sociology class right now, and there is a lot of on our current society in terms of jobs creating stratification within class, job prestige, how evil capitalism is. I've read the literature, I'm studying it, I hear it, but yo, Marx, I'm talking directly to you. You can call me a structural functionalist on this one. Our jobs are inarguably important to us. They force motion into one's life. Momentum is real. They also are a safe haven of routine. And they give us things to problem solve, to create, to accomplish. Reward chemicals, dopamine gets going when you do things at work. And don't forget the tribal aspect of it. Tribalism for your brand, be it a group when you're in the trenches with, or even just your own brand if you're a sole proprietor or even an entertainer. There's a level of tribalism there through evolutionary psychology. And thinking of evolutionary psychology, also just survival and trying to impress a mate. Work is important. And I mean, even the forced interpersonal interactions, so we don't just be total troglodytes. Forced socialization. This isn't referring to anyone in particular. Me. Sociology class ain't wrong. Capitalism's got some ugly sides to it. But in terms of our mental health, the things I just mentioned, inarguable. Okay. So work, pretty important, right? We understand that. Okay, so now picture you got a Monday off. Just randomly, you get a Monday off. There's nothing sweeter. There's nothing sweeter. Now, imagine it's Monday number 576 in a row. Not so sweet. We romanticize it, but it's not so sweet. My perfect example, anecdotal, 2-week vacations. I've been lucky enough to be on a couple, and they all have the exact same rhythm to them. A week and a half of vegging, relaxing, not doing anything, a couple drinks, the pool, the sun. And then a week and a half goes by, antsy in my pantsy, listless, bored. I actually want to go home. I want to work. Now, imagine sustainable abundance, and that's every day. Seeing the kind of thing I'm putting together here? One requires that level of friction, and one requires friction for reward chemicals, dopamine. Hey, let's get real. The AI predicament is a legitimate concern. Without jobs, we might lose that sense of meaning and that identity, and we might become irrelevant. And that is arguably one of the worst things that could happen to a human. There's a Stanford study actually that puts this real bluntly. Jobs are gone, motivation soon to follow. Laziness results. We are adapted to struggle and scrape. And abundance could erode our natural drive. Quick anecdote, filmmaker, have been my whole life. My dad had a VHS camera when I was very young. I was making sweet little films like the one you're seeing right now. How did I not win an Oscar? Seriously. Anyway, professionally for the last 23 years to make projects is painstaking. Gathering the crew, the people, the sets, the everything. This is a very complicated set here, as you can see. When the AI revolution now happening with AI generated video, I was so excited. like pumped. I could finally make everything I've ever imagined up here, but could never get the budget, the people, the everything to do. Well, I downloaded it, opened it up, and instead of painstakingly building my mise en scene, all I had to do, put some prompts in, hit go, sit and wait. And what was made was mind-blowing, like incredible, better than anything I could ever do. But it didn't satisfy me at all. And you can quote me, you can open my app right now on my phone, and you will see there are 2 videos made. I had a plan to take over all of the different apps with because I have this legit filmmaking mind. Therefore, I got a cheat code for making AI video. I'm going to make the best AI videos. So this is my path to stardom. I made 2 videos, 2. And it fulfilled nothing in me. And I look back at my career as a filmmaker and I go, it was the struggling, the scraping, it was the journey, not the destination. Okay. This leads me to an incredibly important example. A little lesson called Rat Utopia. In the late 50s, ethologist John Calhoun created an experiment that gave rats paradise. They had friends, they had mates, they had food, they had space, they had 0 threats. Success, right? Population boomed, and then it collapsed. Calhoun coined the term behavioral sink for the phenomena. What happened? The rats turned aggressive. They began to socially isolate themselves, stopped mating. And the beautiful ones, I shit you not, obsessively groomed themselves while they isolated. Sound familiar? Celebrities, plastic surgery, etc. Overabundance eroded social bonds and eliminated drive. A total evolutionary mismatch. And we're talking about animals that didn't have black mirrors. Modern sink, anyone? These sure create isolation. And we damn sure like to be beautiful while we isolate with them. These are dopamine slot machines engineered to manipulate you. And now AI, endless content, sustainable abundance, endless time. Infinite temptation, custom made for you. Whew, that's scary. Add to that augmented reality that is completely seamless with time. The irony is we'll probably have 9 to 5 jobs in that augmented reality just to live the good old days. And then add to that haptic suits where we can physically feel the touch of the things happening in the augmented reality. Maybe we're in that right now. Well, we'll get to that. We will physically feel catching that winning touchdown or that hoe. The garden hoe. We're an agrarian farmer. They're using the garden hoe. Yes, of course. Anyways, because we should practice feeling that backbreaking work in the 1600s. There you go. There's utility for this. Perspective. I guarantee there's some folks out there watching this thinking about WALL-E. Who's seen WALL-E? One of those animated films where the humans in it are giant flesh bags that can barely move under their own weight. In fact, they use these like hover chairs, I believe, who are constantly eating the most palatable food, junk, and consuming the greatest media with screens right in front of their faces. They don't do anything. Honestly, I watched WALL-E and wondered if it was a documentary. And I'm sure some of y'all have as well. And with what I'm pitching with sustainable abundance, you can't tell me that's not a concern. Brought to you by McDonald's and TikTok. Psychology Today wrote an article about this fairly recently, titled, I'm going to read it here to make sure, Surviving Within Artificial Intelligence, Useless Class. Useless. You know what? I want to optimize this next experience just to stick it to psychology today. Useless? In the title? A pejorative? You're just coming at me, brah? I want to win based just on that. Okay, so we're in sustainable abundance. It has happened. Life is all of a sudden very much like a sandbox video game. Are we in a simulation? No, seriously, I'm asking, are we in a simulation? If this is, I mean, we got Bushnell's law for video games. Easy to play, hard to master. Keeps coming back for more. Okay, so on that note, I would like to bring the rats back into it. But not Rat Utopia. We're talking Rat Park. An experiment in the 70s by a Canadian, I'm Canadian, psychologist, I'm becoming a psychologist, named Bruce Alexander. My name is neither Bruce nor Alexander, so not going to I'll whoop it for, this is for you, Bruce Alexander, whoop. Anyways. All right, all of the rats involved in the experiment were given two types of water, unlimited. Regular water, H2O, love it, keeps us alive, we're 70% it, woo. And water mixed with morphine. The rats were split into two different living arrangements. One, very stark, only thing in there, other rats. It was small. They still had their food and their waters. That's it. The group over here, other rats, food, the waters, but a playpen. Rat Park. The most incredible thing happened. In the group with the small pen, addiction. Every single rat became addicted to the morphine and barely touched the real plain water. In Rat Park, the antithesis happened. Few, if any, rats even sampled the morphine water. They were too busy doing rat stuff, like playing and solving. There were like puzzles, there were ramps and things to jump off and play and be with each other. That's what rats need to do. Now, to take the study to the next level, a third group, a third independent variable was added. Dr. Alexander took some rats, got them hooked on morphine, purposely made them addicts, and then put them into Rat Park. And you know what happened? There were withdrawal symptoms, absolutely. Apparently there was shaking, seizures, the whole thing. But they barely even went near the morphine water. They just drank the regular water and hung out with their rat friends. Goosebumps. Like legit goosebumps. That is so magical. And we can take more from this than Rat Utopia. So what was the difference between Rat Park and Rat Utopia? Rat Utopia was a population study, and it served its purpose. The rats had everything, safety, food, friends, but there was no stimulation in Rat Utopia. Rat Park took all the things from Rat Utopia and added puzzles and fun and toys and colors and things for the rats to do. And they thrived. Wow. Now, we ain't rats, but we are mammals. And we like to pretend because of these big brains that we're primates at the end of the day. Heck, we used to be fish far enough back. I wish I still had my little Kevin Costner situation here. And believe it or not, we were rodents, just like rats. In fact, that's how we survived the dinosaur extinction event. Our big brains love to get in the way of realizing that the optimal efficiency of human existence truly is simplicity and rewinding it back to primal urges and needs. My elbow cracked. So on that note, I present to you the Great Awakening, the perfect handbook to optimally enjoy sustainable abundance. Whew. Let's get reductionist right off the bat. I promised you a paradox earlier, so let's just distill it right down. Everything I set up, I think it's kind of obvious. It's so cool that we invented tech and we evolved our tech until the point that we basically created a god. More on that in a minute. But the fact that we created this God, worked so hard to get this God, and this God is really going to provide us the opportunity to cyclically come back to being more ancestral, more primal, but with a really cool omniscient oracle in our pocket that just tuck right in, just God, just going to take you right there and tuck you in my pocket. That's nice. I honestly believe that tech is just one big, beautiful cycle to bring us home. And we're at that transition point. And that's awesome. But we gotta choose it. Everybody at home watching this has made it this far and they're like, seriously? Give me one of those haptic suits and them garden hose. Come on. But stick with me. Stay. Wait a little bit. Just let me pay it off. Because remember all those primal ancestral ideas that I've kind of scattered throughout this so far? Just let's take those, put them together, and add an AI sidecar, both sides. And we got something super cool coming your way. All right, I just want to reiterate again why I'm the guy to bring this to you. My innate superpower, my drive. You can now see after I've set all this up how my drive is going to serve me greatly. As the Great Awakening and Sustainable Abundance, I think now it makes sense, right? Honestly, I think I was born in the wrong era. I'm an agrarian farmer in modern times. That's it. I think that's it. Or just let me just digress a minute because I love, evolutionary biology and how, the psychology side of it. So just please bear with me just for a second. What is it? For sure, evolutionary adaptation. But I'm curious, what was it in my past? Was there a family member who had to go to the edges of the earth to struggle and scrape to get by, to survive an awful winter or a bad season, and it epigenetically changed them, which then trickled down through genetics into me that I just have this in me? If we're going on the evolutionary psychology side of it, maybe one of my ancestors was incredibly unattractive and couldn't get a mate and had to really bust their butt to do it. Maybe, but no, not that. Not that. Do I just happen to have a rather spectacular anterior cingulate cortex? I get told that a lot, actually. Because that's the part of our brain responsible for drive and reward. And science says, actually, that it can be exercised. It can be trained. And it is a use it or lose it. But some people are just born with optimal muscle composition. I just like to think that my anterior cingulate cortex is just optimal. It's ripped. I mean, I'm not ripped. I didn't get the muscle composition thing, but if you cut open my brain, you would see that my anterior cingulate cortex is just jacked, bro. It's jacked, bruh. Enough. Sorry. I just love the psychology side of the things. Thank you for bearing with me and the digression. Let's get the plan going here. All right. We're going to start personal macro. We're going to work our way down and we're going to work our way out. Okay. Here we go. With our jobs gone, so is our structure. Routine. Routine needs to become our scaffolding. And routine is a secular word for rituals. Something that our ancestral brains crave. When I was battling hardcore PTSD, I was living alone in the country in a farmhouse away from my regular support system. And routine saved my life. I know it is totally anecdotal, but I had to learn it, and it absolutely gave life-saving results. And it's science fact. Positive psychology published in 2023. I'm going to read it to make sure I get it right. Routines stabilize autonomic responses, reducing anxiety and motivation dips. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. That should have been the camera. Now notice I'm not just saying like do stuff, right? Because that would be a recipe for disaster. Stuff can be over here. Stuff is great. But we need to build out that foundation. And routine is the foundation of the Anyways, routine's the foundation, and it's going to build compartments to put the stuff in. Then every day we're running into that time of day that can be filled with that just do stuff. Goes into the block within the... Anyways, we'll get to it. My current life is actually the perfect example. As I said earlier, newborn, wife, 2 properties to take care of. I'm in school, full-time job, passion projects, and beyond. But my life is incredibly fluid as to when I do these things. But it's incredibly rigid when it comes to my responsibility. So I grasp to routine, something that I learned when I was dealing with PTSD. Tiny little pieces of routine are my anchors that get me through the chaos and being pulled in a million different directions. Honestly, I cannot preach mornings more than any. It doesn't matter when they start from you. Okay, I shouldn't say mornings, starts of days for people. For me, every single morning, I wake up, fill a glass with good clean water, some mineralized salt, and a hydrogen tablet. There's data on the mineralized soap, not the hydrogen tablet, but if it's placebo and it's working for me, hey, fizzy water is good. I just like that. I take my drink outside with the dog, let her out, let her run around, and I touch ground with my bare feet. I live in Canada, don't forget, and I do this every day. No excuses. It feels good. I drink my water, I do stretches, and the most important part about touching ground is that I'm outside to get low-level shortwave light into my eyes. We have neurons in our eyes that measure the direction, distance, pitch, where the sun is in the sky. In the mornings, that will set us to having a nice, hearty, good cortisol spike, the good cortisol, because we're pumped with norepinephrine at the time. Well, that's a fun one to say. We're pumped with norepinephrine at the time to have us up and awake, and we want to ride that wave. So I do that every morning. I do my stretches, drink my water to get my metabolism going and kickstart my digestive system. I'm taking in light. And then I grab the dog and I play with her like crazy to get some of that like masculine energy out. I wrestle with the dog, run around a little bit. It feels so good. And then right there, boom, when I'm ready to go inside, chaos, complete and total chaos, fluidity. I have no idea what's going to happen. On an awesome day, I'm sitting and having a lazy coffee with my wife. On a crazy day that's a little more painful, I got a psychology exam to run to because my class is first thing in the morning. Regardless, I am grounded in my day from my morning ritual. And I even have them spaced out throughout the day too. I intermittent fast. So that's just a block of time where I eat and that marks my day. I walk the dog at night. I work out in some way, shape, or form every day. And honestly, with the workout thing, smartwatches, I don't have mine on right now. I should to track my heart rate through this. Keeps you accountable, keeps you engaged. Couldn't recommend them enough. I'm obsessed. It's actually a bit of a problem. I track my sleep every night. It's insane. So tech as a sidecar is a total hack for everything that I'm saying. We want it with us. So I had my morning ritual. I'm in the chaos of my world, but there's one incredibly important consistency. My mindset. And that mindset is moving in inspired action. This idea is not mine. Janessa Leacourt, look her up, buy her book, dear friend of mine, personal friend, also my spiritual leader, guide, saved my life. Look her up. This is all hers 100%, and it changed my life, and I want to help it change your life because she would want it to change your life. Wow. Continuing on. Inspired action is aiming up with everything that we do. Simple as that. Apply that lens to your day. How today am I going to aim up? It doesn't have to be major. It can be tiny, and it's scalable. It can be anything. Make it giant, make it tiny. Just be trying to improve something in your day. And if you can't think of anything, this is brilliant. Just clean a room. Seriously, you will be amazed because momentum is real. And just like the scarecrow said, put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. Was that scarecrow? I think so. Anyways, you'll be walking out that door. Oh, actually, you'll be walking up because you're aiming up. So you'll be walking up the stairs, I guess. Got our ritual. We're aiming up, inspired action. Next building block is enlightenment. I know. I sound like a weird new age dude from the mid-90s. You can buy my 10-part VHS tape set and learn to be enlightened like me. But I really do mean it in the truest sense of the word, because we are about to be released into the Garden of Eden. And trust me, childlike wonder is gonna make it oh so sweet. It's finding the wow. It's finding the pause. It's finding what meditation's all about. And there are multiple ways in. Here's a fun one. Here, intellectual way in. What's your next thought? Do you feel that pause? Because it's an interesting, paradoxical question. What is my next? I don't know my next. I asked you to listen to me, and then I asked you what your thought, but you haven't thought of it yet. That pause in there, that's enlightenment. That's what we're trying to find. Here's another way in. Your walk, let's go on a nature walk, using a different sense this time. Listen to that distant stream. There's a pause as you listen. And you can then explore the texture of the stream. And is it a stream? A better way to go into that one. We're back on our nature walk. Pick a tree, any tree, pick a tree, any tree. Look at the tree. But don't CTREE. Interesting, right? We label everything in this world, but when we look at it, we don't see those words. The irony is I just looked over at that stand and it says Avenger, Avenger. But now I can use my own words here and look around that word and see it for what it is. It can take your breath away. If you've never experienced this and you look at something that is so beautifully and complex in nature, it brings you to your knees. And it works on anything. Have you ever truly sat and seen a piece of tech? Not an IPHONE, but rotated it, looked at it without labels. And now the ultimate, goosebumps. Do this with a human being that you love. Look at them without seeing their name and seeing them as they are. Similar for self. It's not I am Reggie Gray. It's I am. Powerful stuff. And a building block in the Great Awakening. It is magic that will drop your jaw because we're magic. We're getting to that. And for those who are so ridiculously blessed and lucky to have kids, spoiler alert, they are a cheat code into enlightenment. We adults, we live in the left hemisphere of our brain, analyses and analyzing everything. And it's actually a very healthy, advantageous adaptation for the world that we live in. It makes order, makes us feel safe in a very chaotic place. Analyze, analyze, analyze. This is that. That's a camera. This is a light. This is a bed sheet. Oh yeah, I have like sheets around me for sound. And that actually provides us with comfort in an otherwise chaotic world. It's a form of control to use our left brain and analyze not only situations, but people. Children live in their right brain. We come out of the womb 100% right-brained. Abstract, art, vague sounds, things without labels. As we age, and from a child looking up to their parents aren't teaching them the right side of their brain, emotions, feelings, thoughts without words. The parent is teaching them how to take those things and label them, and how to show them mechanisms through human tech language, how to wrangle those emotions, how to use your creativity to create art. So if you're lucky enough to have kids, look at how they look at the world. It's all over here. And then, like, a really crazy thing, your left eye is wired to your right hemisphere. So you could look around with your left eye and, like, you know, just like, I'm extra creative because all this is going to my occipital lobe in the back here. Well, I look really weird. I better analyze this thing. It's having fun. They do lateral, the vision cortexes do. It all talks to the corpus callosum, but still, like, it's fun. So let your kids teach you about magic. And try not to get too depressed when you realize just how jaded and boring it is to be an adult. Because it is. And naturally, the next step after enlightenment is play. And we can talk cold, hard data on this one. You ready? This is like straight up science. Here it comes. And you could check the citation at the bottom of this video in the comments section of the info. You check it. Every Christmas movie ever made is about a kid who believes in Christmas and the jaded, boring parents who are squares and they're sticks in the mud, and by the end of it, they need to unlock their inner child. Science, like I said. You're welcome. That's a free lesson. But seriously, there is something to that. Maybe not in this world. I mean, you can still use it in this world, but in sustainable abundance, there is legitimately something to that. Play is the antithesis of tyranny. We cannot be assholes when we're playing and being silly. They are mutually exclusive. Okay, they're two completely different parts of us, and they can't exist at the same time. To get into the science side of things, actual science, not Christmas movie science, play boosts our serotonin. It's a rest and relaxation chemical for later in the day. It takes over when dopamine's a little less accessible. And it helps release oxytocin for bonding because there's vulnerability in play. The Great Awakening says that we must normalize adult play days. In public, private, both. Actually, like in public, start singing in the middle of the street without a hat to bust. Just start singing. Or start dancing for a stranger, or start banging on the side of a garbage can and invite somebody else to join in and start hitting a window and make just street music. I guarantee you're going to make people smile and have fun and feel bonded to each other, even perfect strangers. We will thrive in sustainable abundance by doing these things. That sounds awkward now because we're too busy trying to get to our 9-to-5 jobs, which are going to sound so stupid to future generations, I'm telling you. And that's just the public side of it. We need to build our tribes by organizing this stuff too. You know, art gatherings, improv play. We can all be actors. It's fun. We're just being silly. Board games night, cooking. We'll get to that. Sport and exercise. Oh my God, sport and exercise are going to be so important. Sustainable abundance. Excited about it. I don't want to sound like body break, esoteric, millennial, older millennial, Canadian shout out. Everybody's heard the news. Exercise is good for you. Woo. Crazy, right? We've all been beaten over the head with it. But the thing is, in this world, I get it. We're all busy. I got a kid. I got work. It's hard to get out and exercise. But in sustainable abundance, we're going to have nothing but time. And we want routine. And my God, does it feel good to work out. So we want to carve out time in our day to exercise. Listen. We have these wicked organic mech suits. Whatever magic is in our brain, it just gets to be housed in this awesome mech suit. Use it. Because in the future, we're going to be machines. We'll be modular. We'll just like snap an arm on, put it, and they can be jacked, they can be small, they can be metal, they can be graphite, they can be anything. Right now, we aren't customizable. We got to work for it. And spoiler, this keeps coming up, reward chemicals. It's built into the exercise thing. Crazy, right? Get AI to track you. Again, smartwatches, fun to follow heart rate, how far you ran, all this fun stuff. And speaking of running, endorphins, running high is real. It's funny that nature has this programmed into us. We do hard work, exercise, and all the other things I'm talking about. You are rewarded. You feel good. You have better health. You see in the common thread here? An organized sport is going to be so important. Okay, I'm going to step on a third rail here, but I'm going to make it brief. It's just a point that needs to be made. Listen, I'm going to trigger alert for those. I'm going to be like kind of binary on this, the difference between men and women. Crazy, I know, I'm sorry. I love and respect all the genders out there and all the fluidity and all that, including my own. I identify as open source. And the funny thing is, in the future, we're just going to laugh about all that stuff. We're all going to be happy. But anyways, like a Band-Aid, right off. Let's do this. Everyone's going to hate me. In sustainable abundance, there is going to be a huge difference between the female experience and the male experience. Okay? We talk about blue-collar jobs, white-collar jobs. Society in sustainable abundance is going to be built on pink-collar specialization. What does that mean? It is fact that on average that females are better suited to dealing with social structures, social systems, dealing with people, emotions. And males are on average, hopefully that saves me, I'm really leaning into the on average thing. Males are good at dealing with things, systems of things. Boys and their toys. Physicality over emotions. These are facts, and I know where we're at with liberal arts and studies, and I am studying it right now. I get it. I'm in it. I'm not just passively saying this. I am studying it. But I think we can all agree that we've experienced these things at some point, and I'm speaking in generalities, but I'm trying to make it is a continuum, 100%, but this is still true. And what I'm getting at is in sustainable abundance, a lot of the things that are a little easier for males aren't going to exist. Building systems of things, engineering things, building things, that's all going to be taken care of by machines. Social systems, dealing with other humans, figuring out wellness and mental well-being, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Those are the things that machines can't touch. Therefore, females are going to have a way easier time. So the Great Awakening really has some thoughts on positive male outlets so we can maintain our maleness. And as a born assigned male, I'm open source. Masculinity, energy feels so good. You had better believe that friendly competition and organized sports are going to take on a whole new level. And of course, these exist for females and other gender choices as well. And they will be celebrated, and it's awesome. But it's going to be core mental health wellness for males. I'm telling you. believe me, as a former, I used to play every sport. I don't miss playing any of them at 41 years old. However, I very much miss the camaraderie. I don't miss playing hockey, being on the ice. I so miss the locker room before and after. I miss being in the trenches because sport is war simulation. We need that. So in sustainable abundance, we're going to need an uptick in paintball fields and war strategy rooms for older dudes. Honestly, hunting. Hunting, it's primal, it's ancestral. It feeds something inside of us. The excitement of the hunt, executing the hunt. I'm personally a vegetarian, so even just using that word, I'm a bit like, ooh. But then the ancestral side of me is kind of like, maybe there is something to hunting. Sustainable abundance, hunting, I think, would be advantageous for us to have that optimal experience. And here's the number one thing that I think is going to happen in sustainable abundance, I think is hilarious. Every male, anyone who's ever been a male, has experienced fixing something, doing something, performing something in public, and an old salty dog, an old male warrior comes up and just sits, watches, doesn't physically contribute at all, but gives their 2 cents about what you're doing when you know what you're doing. We've all experienced. Get ready for just lawn chairs of old salty dogs set up around the machines as they do that kind of work. The future's so bright. We gotta wear shades. That's why I use the golden background. Golden background. I'm clever. And then, of course, just the idea of like these positive male retreats and camps where we can get together, eat the food that we catch and wrestle and be to get that aggression out. That's got to be a part of the Great Awakening and how males need to commune in sustainable abundance. Okay, quick opposite of exercise, rest. Not going to go deep on this one. I'll do a separate episode at some point on sleep, but in the sustainable abundance, there's going to be tons of time. Like I'm telling you, get your sleep in check. At least, that cliche of 8 hours a night, of course, is different for everybody. Sleep hygiene, red light at night, the whole thing. Not going to get into it. It doesn't change much with sustainable abundance. And there are no more excuses to not get good sleep. Hey, we're on a roll here. What's another pillar of being human? Eating, food, cooking. All right, I'm a rant. When I was living on my own, here's the problem with me. I can eat purely for utility. I eat super healthy, but I could eat the same thing every single day as long as I'm getting those calories and energy so I can create. That being said, some of the best experiences I've ever had cooking with or for other people. Talk about an oxytocin dump. It's the bonding chemical. And my God, does it flow when you're cooking with people involved. Curating something so powerful and nourishing together. Whew. It's like a less awkward dance. It's a work of art together. And here is an awkward dance. And it feeds us energy to create further and exist, to live. It doesn't get any more primal than eating. And since we've really been conscious, we've had to eat. Even before we were really sentient and conscious, we could argue, we've had to eat. And that's what's built community for humans. And yeah, in the Great Awakening, let's lean into real food. We got nothing but time on our hands. We don't have to pay exorbitant prices for organic anymore. So let's eat whole foods. Let's take our time, get together and go slow. Because truly, when it comes to cooking in sustainable abundance, it's truly about the journey than the outcome. Because when we sit down and eat, it's just going to be a hedonistic celebration of what we've made together. Breaking bread, sitting down at the dinner table, sharing stories while we nourish our bodies. This is what the Great Awakening is facilitating. That's heavenly to me. That's like, woof, woof. No one will argue this, except for maybe the technocrats that love to use their Soylent. Fine, we can have a Soylent party. Just don't wear green. Old school movie reference. We want this to every day be a multi-hour event. Therapy, community, being there for each other. You know what's funny is that this exists now. Do you ever watch a documentary on blue zones? Communal eating is one of the biggest parts of it. So you want to live to 100 and have robust health? Build this into your day. But in sustainable abundance, you'll have no excuses. That's pretty much what it's all about. It's not having excuses and doing human things. Okay, keep going. Let's take food a step further. Maybe you want to grow your own food. And with AI, hydroponics are going to get to the point where you can just grow something in your locker at school. I will explain why my gym shorts smell like rutabaga. I rutabaga you to laugh at that. Anecdote here. Remember, I grew up in the fourth largest city in North America. Total fish out of water when I bought my 127 acre property that has a farmhouse on it and a decent amount of land. So I grew a modest, because I'm very new to it, little garden. I got to tell you, the feeling that I got was ineffable when it came time to prep the garden, walk around in my bare feet, plant the seed, water the seed, sing to my crop every day as I tended to it. And then when it came time to harvest, that was fulfilling on a level that I cannot replicate. But it has to be food related because obviously fulfillment, having children, blah, blah, blah. It was honestly an accomplishment that was so palpable. I looked at my 20-something year film career and went, this feels really good in a different way. Primal is tapping into something ancestral and incredible. Grow your food. I was going to say if you can, but in sustainable abundance, you will be able to. So grow your food, please. Any kind of agriculture is going to teach patience, delayed gratification, and the cycles of life. Honestly, the latent teachings of growing your food, I think, brings us into more comfort with our mortality. Oof, that's pretty heavy for just growing some lettuce. And then take it to the next level. Grow food with and for your neighbors. All of a sudden, we're sharing, we're feeding and nourishing each other, and boosting everyone socially, biodiversity-wise, and mental wellness. And we're feasting off of Mother Nature's beautiful teat. Speaking of, obviously get into nature every single day. We in the West are raised in what's called a carpenter world, right angles. They do not exist in nature. You see one of those out in the forest? I think not. So getting out into the forest restores and relaxes a primitive side of us. Don't believe me? Don't do it. Fine, don't do it. Reverse psychology. Get out, explore, hike, have some fun, roll around in the leaves, touch earth. Enjoy, bask in the, I almost said organized chaos. It's just straight up chaos, organic chaos. That's better, yeah. Speaking of Mother Nature, it's not all passive and calm and all that fun stuff. It can be aggressive and damaging and powerful. Fire is beyond important to our species. It was the first major destructive, powerful thing that we harnessed to manipulate our environment. And it sped up our physical evolution because all of a sudden we could cook food, which made calories more available. More units of energy, start to build these big giant things. It also gave us safety from predators at night. And most importantly, fire gave a safe place to gather, which was cultural tinder. To build this. I ain't kidding around. Without fire, we don't have this. There must have been nothing like that first hit of oxytocin at a campfire. And yawning, that's where we developed yawning, is sitting around a campfire. And we're the first person yawns, and then the next person yawns, and the next person yawns. And even me talking about yawning, I'm thinking about yawning. And it's because it's an evolutionary signal within our tribe to make sure everybody feels safe. And if anyone doesn't yawn, that might be a psychopath, which has grown and adapted in its own way. But I don't know how they didn't get weeded out from the campfire. I almost caught you not yawning. It's a place for stories and music, a place for legacy, and a place to build tribal hierarchy. I could not recommend this more for the Great Awakening as a way to reignite our ancestral ways, and modern spins on it as well. Low light story hours, chill live music, peaceful, quaint games nights. The key is to initiate wind down, safety, and get that oxy flowing like it's Niagara Falls. I'm an Ontario guy, so it's so crazy, awesome, and amazing how much Black Mirrors have expanded our community and world. All of a sudden, we have access to billions of people. But from what I'm laying out, I think you can actually see that the importance of those billions of people, it's an illusion. In the Great Awakening, our immediate community is going to be paramount, and it's going to be painfully obvious. Now, a sociologist, Mr. Robin Dunbar, discovered the Dunbar number. 150 people. We are supposed to know 150 people with our primate brains. That's optimum. That's knowing our tribe. When the Great Awakening happens, that number is going to come to you and you're going to say, oh yeah, I don't really care about what these billions of people, I mean, it's still there. We can still play with it. But to keep in mind how important our communities are going to become with sustainable abundance is key. Don't get it twisted. I love when people on the other side of the world, shout out to Estonia. What up? I'm big in Estonia. What up? What up? What up? Tune into my things, comment, like, whatever. Like, it really does blow my mind. But at the end of the day, it is an illusion. And leaning into the Dunbar number in our actual tribe, that's sustainable abundance. That's optimal experience, optimal wellness, optimal community, because our nurture is our nature. And the beauty that comes with honing our tribe, mentioned in the fire, tribal roles, tribal hierarchy. So yeah, I lied a little bit when I said our jobs are going to be gone, because we're going to take on new jobs, new roles, a new tribal hierarchy. Because the only entity on earth that's going to be able to give loving, moral, kind support, hold your hand, feel that energy, is going to be other us's, other humans. Humans have a magical connection in insustainable abundance. The Great Awakening is going to encourage that human connection. And it's going to come in the form of roles. There aren't necessarily going to be leaders, but there are going to be people who are specific to various parts of healing, various parts of the human experience. And people will graduate through these roles. And it's just going to be about propelling, aiming up, inspired action of the tribe. I mean, this exists now, but it's going to be amplified in sustainable abundance. Things such as maybe a skill swap, where I show someone how to learn filmmaking, which of course is totally online. Anyone can learn it, but we definitely learn different when other human beings. Another person teaches carpentry, another person teaches fly fishing. Everything we skill swap as an activity in building human connection. So yeah, like, you know, a new currency will emerge, social credit. And I don't mean the dirty type that the government is dancing around. I mean a social credit that's intangible. It's human connection. And the only balance is in our emotional bank accounts. And we all want each other to rise up. Higher the tides, the higher the boats rise. On that note, anecdote time, I have a friend, dear friend, brilliant human being who is in the midst of graduate program to become a therapist. And he and I were talking about this future and what is to come. And he wondered, am I wasting my time? What's the point of me doing this? If I'm just going to go through these years of school, spend all this money, and then come out and become a therapist, but there's AI and there's... We all are still going to be able to fulfill roles. He will be a therapist in his tribe. It's just that the prestige side of it, the money side of it, the class side of it is going to crumble. He'll still be a great therapist. His role in that tribe, in the tribe hierarchy, is going to be that of therapist, someone to talk to, someone to be trusted in the community. And, you know, his coursework in terms of being a therapist, while he's at school, I encourage him to lean into learning the heart and compassion side of it, not the clinical side of therapy. A true therapist in sustainable abundance, in the Great Awakening, are going to be those who connect to one's heart, the client's heart, other people's hearts. And that goes for all endeavors. We'll all still be able to do the things that we want to do. And the cheat code for true wellness is going to be to serve others. Because the dirty little secret, it serves us. My helping you helps me. I feel better. You feel better. We all win. One of the biggest transitions that I am personally pumped to watch play out is arguably the most primal, quintessential human thing there is. Replicating. That's being pretty cold about it. Starting a family, having kids is gonna be cool again. I'm watching it, believe me, as a young-ish person, I am seeing in my lifetime how much it has changed from have a family, have kids, to now it's hustle culture, produce, create. And I know, everybody calm down. This is another bit of a third rail thing, because liberty, feminist movement, gender roles, all of the things. And I know it's kicking a hornet's nest. I get it. But I'm also just saying fact, though, that birth rates are way down, like in the basement. And I get it. Don't get it twisted. In this world, who the hell can afford it? I am doing it now. Had a child only a couple months ago, and I'm sitting here going, how am I going to pay for this? And I want to have more kids, but how? But I'm telling you, this is just going to work out naturally. In sustainable abundance, we're going to have all the resources. We're going to have all the space. And I'm telling you, it naturally, our instincts are going to kick back in to have children. And they don't have to be genealogical kids, to rear children. And the hot button side of it is I'm not leaving anybody out. People who choose not to don't have to. And the people who can't, and they will be able to participate in the way that they want to. But I'm telling you, our primal ancestral core needs are going to propel this back out of us when the time is right. And honestly, I'm just going to leave science at the door and speak purely from the heart, and I'm allowed to have my opinion. I recently became a father at 41 years old. I guess I was 40 at the time. And oh my God, every cliche in the book, there are going to be podcasts about it, so I'm not going to go deep into it other than what's relevant. And that's that I feel like I fulfilled something primal and ancestral in me that I had to do, which is to push my genes into the future. I did it. It's done. But then paradoxically, having kids is so because then you're like, wow, I have to stay alive to help this kid, which leads to my sense of purpose has gone through the roof. I not only now have pushed my genes into the future, I now have to survive and succeed for her to grow up and get to where I'm at. That's the goal. That's what's naturally built into us. Oh, sorry, I said I was going to leave science and whatnot at the door. That's what's built into me anyways. And straight up experiencing a whole different style of love and a whole different level and a whole different. It's that moment that you see that moment that I saw my child. Holy Toledo. But we're so advanced up here that breeding isn't everything. Everybody's life is valid and precious and amazing and incredible, regardless of. I'm just saying, sustainable abundance, there's going to be enough for everyone, including those that don't even exist yet. And in the parlance of our times, having kids is going to be cool again. Okay. Wow, that snowballed with pure theory. So let's rewind it back. Let's get to the practical side. Sustainable abundance is hitting. How do I, right now, prepare for me as in you, prepare for this? Go. Start by curating a list of creative things that you've always wanted to do. If you can't come up with specific things that you've wanted to do, what interests you? And I gotta be honest, when I talk to people, the way the world works now with distraction and it's hard to find somebody who like truly has an interest or a hobby. We just sit in front of the television. It's cool. That's what we do culturally. But I got a psychology hack for you. This one comes courtesy of Sigmund Freud. Yes, most of his work is gobbledygook because it's not falsifiable, although I do enjoy it, and lots do, and they still teach it. But his work in defense mechanisms, totally valid, totally usable. And one of his defense mechanisms, I find, is a great little cheat code for this. Sigmund had the idea, Dr. Freud, of sublimation, where we take a negative aspect of ourselves, but it can be positive in this regard. We take an aspect of ourselves and we find a different channel for it. So if you have something negative going in your life, you positively channel it into something constructive. So channeling aggression into sport, channeling provocative, crazy ideas into really interesting art, channeling anxiety with, needing tangible things into knitting, channeling restlessness into running, and channeling being an attention whore into performing and making videos. Sublimation is a powerful tool for figuring out things and ideas that use your talents and skills that you may not even realize, brings them to the forefront, almost like a blind date for what you're good at, what you want to do. But people don't like blind dates, so maybe we don't call it that. Hold on, scratch it. And while we're talking prep, this is the most important point of it all, so I saved it till last. Figure out what you worship now. I know I just lost like so many people, and right at the end too, and you gotta stick the ending, but I'm telling you, but I'm serious, and I'm aware of the studies that show a negative correlation between technological advance and the decline of traditional religion. Okay, but the way I look at it, and just for starters, AI is so powerful and omniscient and born of a virgin mother that it could be seen as God. And whether you want to admit it or not, we are susceptible to finding God. I know there are a lot of like progressive folks watching this being like, not me. Well, I'm going to get real honest, just anecdotally, my feelings on the situation. I look at what's going on online with some of these extreme political views, polarization, hero worship of celebrities. And I hate to tell you, some of y'all atheists out there, y'all are worshiping. I'm sorry. You can hit me in the comments. I'm sorry. It's true, though. That's what I observe. That's what I think, anyways. But similar with our psychology of jobs, they fill a gap within us. And worship does that too. Worship goes back beyond I bet when we were purely right-brained creatures. looking at the cosmos in the middle of the night when we lived in caves. We needed something to believe in to get through. And you can't tell me you haven't seen examples of that in modern times when people fall ill, when people lose control. They often turn to a higher power. That's wired in us. It's compensatory control because we're out of control. We're human. But if we can believe in something bigger, then we can believe that we're going to be okay, even if it's not. And like I said, AI is incredible now, and it's only going to grow exponentially. And it might convince people that it is something more than it is. So my suggestion in preparation for the Great Awakening is to find what's within you that you believe in. I'm not saying organized religion, by the way. Your God is between you and your God. But maybe it is organized religion. Or maybe it is AI. Or maybe it's humanism. We're pretty incredible. Or maybe it's science and wow of the universe that is observable and quantifiable. Maybe it's atheism, which is kind of a choice in and by not making a choice. You're believing in something. All I'm saying is we're at a great place in human history to consider these things now before AI takes it to the next level. And it really confuses parts of our brain. I'm so lucky. I found my worship later in life. And honestly, it has made life so much more manageable. Just surrendering. Of course, I still have agency, but there's an element now of, I believe, being able to let my hands off the wheel and letting God take it. Truly. I personally believe in pantheism. I worship pantheism, which means everything is God. Everything. Me, my wife, my kid, my family, Canada, the world, this blanket. Everything's God. Which means that AI is God to me too, which is totally full circle. And I feel dizzy. Woo! So get out. This is a call to get out and worship. Just worship. It's like with politics. Get out and vote. I need you to get out and worship. I don't care what. Just get out and do it. All right, that's it. Hey, I'm sorry. This reminds me, you know what this reminds me of? I hate when I'm scrolling the internet and there's some awesome article like how to beat cancer. The secrets of the universe, how to lose a guy in 10 days, and you read them all, and they all just say the same thing. Diet, exercise, socialize, sleep, get outside. I kind of did that to you over a couple hours, and I'm sorry. It's just beautiful, though, how utterly simple we are, and yet so utterly complex. Isn't that beautiful? It's great. So there you go. I present to you the Great Awakening. I know I'm going to lean into it. I hope you do too, because in sustainable abundance, it's about all of us flourishing. And I just want to make sure we do that as well as possible. So the Great Awakening. Oh, I should wear we should wear the hood. Actually, I won't, but night, night, baby. This is my wife's, which means I should sign off. Hey, thanks for being here. Remember, virtue is a mean. Comfort in ambiguity is a sign of intelligence. Credit where credit's due. I just added that one. It's going to be now full tilt all the time because it's true. And lastly, as I always say, don't take yourself so seriously. Y'all come back now, you hear? Night, night, baby.